Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a follow-up on my usage of this dagger as a throwing knife. As I mentioned before, I use this as a throwing knife, and this is what it looks like without the handle scales. I never use the handle scales that comes with it because it's very brittle and it will easily fall apart, especially when you use it as a throwing knife. What I do is I replace it with handle wraps. As of the moment, what I use is duct tape. This black duct tape, I cut it into this thin strip, make it more manageable in terms of wrapping. I took off the handle wraps on this one because when I stuck it into the target, I accidentally hit it with another throwing knife on the handle, so that messed up the handle wrap, and I had to remove it. Was about to replace with a fresh new layer of duct tape. So anyway, one thing that I want to point out, if you are gonna use it this way, I mean, you can use it as is without the handle scales or any handle wrap. You can use it like this and skeletonized and all, but if you do, and let's say you're a beginner, and more often times the knife would hit a hard target flat like this rather than the point first, it will make a loud, annoying clanging sound, and the more holes there are on certain knives, the louder the clanging sound would be. So you can just imagine how it is for this particular design. Now, what's happening there with that clanging sound is because of the holes, there's a lot of room for vibrations. The vibrations subjects the steel into a lot of stress, and if that happens too often, it will break eventually. So the vibration somewhat weakens the steel. Now, this is an example. Okay. See that hole right there at the center? That's going to be the breaking point if that happens, when it breaks. Right there. Now, how do I know it's not a isolated case for this one? It's not. Those are the blades of the two other daggers like this that I broke. Same exact point. Okay. So the handle wraps helps in buffering that vibration, so it would not easily break, and that's how my last few daggers like this lasted, because of the handle wraps. And not only that, it gets rid of that loud, annoying clanging sound. So that's very important, especially if you have your knife throwing set up indoors. You don't want to wake up anybody in a room next to yours. So yeah, handle wraps. That's how you work around that. Okay. I have also mentioned before that I worked on some other designs because, as you can see, it's so thin. This is so light. And I wanted to use something with a little more heft to it, because a little more weight and a little more length, you can actually throw it with a longer range. That's why I came up with the idea of fabricating one that replicates the design of the cold steel mini flight. But I didn't really heat treat this properly. I just hardened the tip. That's why that color is uneven. I didn't finish off the surface polish for this It's because it wasn't important for me. I just, like I said, it was an experiment. I wanted to know how it will work for me, and it actually works pretty well. Now with this is the a Gilhibben thrower design, particularly the one with the handle wraps, the cord wrap design of Gilhibben. And this one, I heat treated this properly, uniformly throughout from the whole length of the blade, the knife. I just never got around to polishing it into a smooth finish because same thing. It's experimental. I just wanted to put it into use as soon as possible and find out if it works best for me. Aside from that, I got lazy. It works pretty well. They both work pretty well. My goal was to determine which design works best for me, and whatever design I choose, that's the design that I'll use to replicate fabricate several more throwing knives. But I'm actually not decided yet, because I'm thinking of doing a third design. I had my mind on the design of the Pro Balance thrower. It's longer than this. This is only 10 inches, so the Pro Balance thrower is a lot longer than this. It can be used for no spin throws, but before I got around to doing that, there's a knife thrower that I knew that recently purchased a Sure knife, and he demonstrated its use. It worked pretty well for him, so well that got me all worked up and excited with that kind of a knife. And I figured, hey, I want to replicate that design and see if that will work. Most likely it will work better for me, because that Sure knife by Ralph Thorne, it is actually designed for no spin throw, which is the style of throwing that I like. So I might go for that, but I'm not gonna give up on the Gilhibben design yet, because I actually like this as well, better than this one. It's somewhat ergonomic, and it can be used as a utility blade, and well, this one has a false edge. See, it's not just a swedge at the top, it's also a false edge right here. Mainly because for throwing knives, a sharp edge is not important. What's important is the tip. But if I were to make one as a throwing knife slash utility blade, yeah, I would grind this to a sharp edge. I would make it a convex grind and put some jimping here and put some cord wrap and make a sheath out of this one, and of course make it a smooth polish. Yeah, it looks, well, I like the design personally. I think it would also make a good fighting knife. Not that it wouldn't matter if you have enough skill. You can actually almost use any blade for fighting, but yeah, I don't have any experience in hand-to-hand combat using knives. I just have that skill of knife throwing as a hobby. Alright, so Gilhibben, Cold Steel Mini Flight, and the Dagger from Manila. This is what I'm playing with nowadays. So when I finish this off with the handle scales, it should be good to go again. So that's the main thing that I wanted to point out when I made this video. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who's using this particular dagger as a throwing knife. So if you intend to get rid of the handle scales because it's already damaged and decide to throw it skeletonized like this, it would be better if you use a handle wrap, or put a handle wrap on it to buffer the noise and vibration. It would last longer. Yeah. Alright, so that's about it. And might do a follow-up video on maybe on one of these. I don't know. We'll see where we go from there. But until then, take it easy.